So if you look here, we notice that we have a negative y and a positive y. If we add those two together, what's going to happen? They're going to cancel out, right? So the goal for elimination is to get one of the variables to have the same coefficient, so like the same number in front, or in this case, lack of a number, right, and opposite signs. So if we just add these two equations together, like we're going to add them down. So like 2x plus 4x is what? 6x. Right, we said the y's are going to cancel out. And then negative 12 plus 24 is 12. Now we just divide by 6 and we have our x. Right, so that's way faster than what we were just doing. So we're going to divide by 6. So x equals 2. So we're halfway done. Yeah. Well, you have to use substitution sometimes. There's a reason. All right, so now we just have to plug x in. You can plug it into either one of your original equations. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to pick the top one because that's got smaller numbers. Make it easy on yourself, right? So we're going to do 2 times 2, right, because I'm plugging this in right here. So 2 times 2, then minus y equals negative 12. 2 times 2 is 4. And now I'm just getting y by itself, so I'm going to subtract my 4. So negative y equals negative 16. Divide by negative 1. And y equals 16. So our answer is 2 and 16. Done. I told you guys it was way faster. All right, so it's not always going to be already set up so that we have like opposite signs and coefficients and we can add them together. But we can take one of the equations and multiply it by something to like make it fit what we need it to do. So, for example, let's look at one. So, we have two x's, right? But do they have different signs? No. So we just need to pick one of those equations and multiply everything in that equation by negative 1. Right? You can't just change the part you need. You have to change the whole equation, right? To keep its value the same. So let's take our bottom equation. We're going to multiply everything in that equation by negative 1. Right? That's the key part here. You have to multiply the x, the 11y, and the 5 by whatever number you're going to multiply by. Right? So that's going to become negative x minus 11y equals negative 5. And then I'm just going to carry my top equation over and leave it exactly the same. All right, so now we have our x variables that have the same coefficient and different signs. So now we can add them together. Right, so like what we just did. So adding our equations. So positive x and negative x cancel out. Right, you need something to cancel or else this isn't going to work. So then we've got 20 minus 11, which is what? 9. And 14 minus 5 is 9. So we're going to divide by 9 and get y equals 1. All right, then we're going to plug it in. So I'm going to plug it into the top one again. It doesn't matter where you plug it in. So then we have x plus 20 times 1 equals 14. So 20 times 1 is just 20. And we're going to subtract that over. And then we get x equals negative 6. So our solution is negative 6 and 1. All right, so how do we feel about this one? What questions do you guys have so far? That's the next example we're doing. Yeah. No, that's a good question, though. So basically, it works the same way as this. Instead of multiplying by a -1, you would just multiply by a number. So let's do this one. Are we good with this example here? Okay. So let's have the system x plus y equals 1 and 2x plus 5y equals 17. Write that like really far apart. So for this one, right, we've got numbers in front of these but not in front of these, and they're all the same sign, right? So we need to, it really, for this one, we could multiply to get our x's the same or our y's the same. It doesn't matter. You can just pick one. So, do you want to get rid of x or y? It really doesn't matter. X. All right. Sorry, guys. I heard x first. So, that means, what do we need to have in front of this x to get it to cancel out with this one? -2. So, we're going to multiply everything in that top equation by -2. Right? So, you're really just like distributing it through. So, that's going to be -2x minus 2y equals -2. Then we're just going to bring our other equation over. So, we have 2x plus 5y equals 17. Right? Then we're going to combine them together, because now we have something that's going to cancel out. All right, so the -2 plus 5 is 3y. And then -2 plus 17 is 15. Divide by 3. And y equals 5. Right, so then we're going to plug it in. I'm going to plug it into this top one again, just because those happen to be the more simple equations. So then you get x. Come on, pick up my finger. There we go. So x plus 5 equals 1. Subtract the 5. And x equals -4. All right, so does that one kind of make sense? Okay, so I want to do one more example where you sometimes are going to have to multiply both equations. So let's look at 2x plus 3y equals 5 and 3x plus 2y equals 0. So there's not really anything that we can multiply by right now to just like one equation by to make something cancel out, right? So we'll get rid of y this time. So when you have something like this, where you've got two numbers where you can't just like multiply one to make it match, you multiply both equations. So since I have a 3 up here, I'm going to get rid of y. I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 3 and the top one by whatever's in front of this one. So I'm going to multiply this one by 2. So you can take the time to like find what the least common denominator would be and do all that, but that's like a pain. It will always work if you just multiply the top equation by whatever the bottom number is, multiply the bottom equation by whatever the top number is. And since they have the same sign, we just need to make one of those negative. It doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to keep the top one positive, so we're going to multiply it by a -2, and we'll multiply the bottom one by a +3. So again, I chose 2 because there's a 2 here, and I chose 3 because there's a 3 right here, because I'm going to get rid of y. You could have also done it the other way to get rid of the x's. Okay? So now let's go ahead and do that distribution. So my top equation now is -4x minus 6y equals negative 10. My bottom equation is now 9x plus 6y equals 0. So now I have two equations where we've got a negative 6, positive 6. So now when we add them together, these are going to cancel. So negative 4 plus 9 is 5x. My negative 6 and my positive 6 cancel, and I get a negative 10. Then I divide by 5. So x equals negative 2. Then I'm going to plug that in up here. So I get 2 times negative 2 plus 3y equals 5. So negative 4 plus 3y is 5. Add my 4 over. 3y equals 9 divided by 3 to get y is equal to 3. So my solution is negative 2 and 3. Okay, any questions so far? All right, let's go ahead and start on the assignment, which is page 235, 1 through 8. Also, I'm just going to tell you guys now, number 3, 6, 7, and 8 will have fractions as answers. For both x and y. So, don't panic when that happens. Right, the other ones will be whole numbers.